Welcome, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. We go to number 2, which is a motion to suspend the rules.
Pursuant to Section 3.5 of Bylaw 2024-05, Procedural Bylaw, any parts of this bylaw may be suspended by a vote with the consent of council members present unless the part is prescribed by statute or law. The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby suspend the rules of Bylaw 2024-05, Section 4.2.6.3, allowing an amendment to the agenda after the deadline for the purpose of the addition of a closed session.
Okay, could I have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Denning, seconded Deputy Mayor Tellier. All in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Adoption of the agenda.
That West Elgin Council hereby adopts the regular council agenda for April 24th, 2025 as amended.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded Councillor Denning. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Disclosure of any pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Adoption of the minutes.
That West Elgin Council hereby adopts the minutes of April 10th, 2025 as presented.
A mover, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. Business arising from those minutes. Seeing none. We move on to 7. It's staff reports. Infrastructure and development. Truck 11 replacement. Over to you, Mr. Gosnell, please.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. Good afternoon. So the report before you is for the replacement of truck 11, which is a single axle 1-ton truck that we use. It's a multi-purpose vehicle. Summer as in the report, with the new subdivisions and the new development coming online as part of that development charges review that we did a few months ago. It was certainly identified that we would need additional resources as that new development comes online. So that's the change. We've gone to a slightly larger vehicle here with the capabilities of providing winter maintenance control as well for those streets in town and those new subdivisions. So through the canoe program, we worked with Viking Surveys, who has been the builder of our snow equipment for many years, and they were able to work with us and source the vehicle locally through Cotrac Ford and Dutton. The chassis will come from there. It will be delivered to Viking in the fall of this year, and then the truck will be built there in Mount Forest, and we should expect to receive it in Q2 or Q3 of 2026 if we get the build slot now, if we do the order now. And with the tariffs and the pricing, certainly these prices that are quoted they're not valid for weeks and months anymore. They're valid for days. So
that's just the way of the world now.
If you have any questions regarding the report, I'd be happy to answer.
Welcome, Mr. Statham.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I just had a hard time getting on.
Okay. Any questions from council? Councillor Denning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair, might be for Robin. It's just the question is with regards to this truck. Was this an item that was budgeted for or is being budgeted for in 2025?
Through the chair, yes, this is on our capital budget for this year, our draft capital budget. And so when I say 2025, 2026, the program typically is that there's additional savings that can be realized if the municipality pays for the chassis when it's delivered to Mount Forest. So we will pay for that in probably late in 2025. And then the cost of building the unit in Mount Forest, that will be paid when the unit is delivered in 2026. And that with the same as the other purchases for vehicles in Public Works, that comes from a reserve. So that money's already sitting there. That doesn't impact this year's financials.
Further
Thank you.
questions from council? Seeing none, could I have the recommendation, please?
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Infrastructure and Development, and that West Elgin Council approves ordering one new single-axle dump truck from Viking Surveys Limited of Mount Forest, Ontario, for the quoted price of $249,834 plus applicable taxes.
Move it, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried. Okay, 7.1.2, 2025 landfill monitoring agreement. Lee, over to you again, please.
Yep, through the chair. So this report, you as council see this every spring. Regulated services as far as landfill monitoring, groundwater monitoring, and our annual reporting to the Ministry of Environment has been done for many years by BlueMetric. And this year, the cost for the services has gone up slightly. It's about just shy of 4%, which is largely due just to increased, well, CPI obviously, and then some increase in laboratory costs for that groundwater sampling. But other than that, like I said, it is regulated. We have no choice but to do that monitoring, and they help us prepare that annual report, which we are just finalizing the annual report for 2024, and we are making plans with Serena from BlueMetric to attend a council meeting in May to present that annual report for council.
Thank you. Questions from council? Councillor Denning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the chair. The earlier decision of council and the recommendation of staff to eliminate commercial dumping at our landfill. So will that decision impact future monitoring costs, or does it really have no bearing?
That has no bearing. Once you own a landfill, it's yours forever. So regardless of what we put into that landfill between now and closure, we will have to maintain these monitoring expenses and the annual reporting. And then typically for a landfill our size, the ministry will require that same level of monitoring, groundwater, for 25 years after closure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Further questions? Seeing none.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Operations and Development, and that West Elgin Council approve the 2025 landfill monitoring agreement submitted by BlueMetric Environmental at the cost of $41,358 plus applicable taxes.
Okay, a mover, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, 7.1.3, roadside mower replacement. Lee, it's over to you again.
Thank you, through the chair. So the last of the capital equipment replacement for 2025 for the Public Works Department was a roadside mower. We purchased a Woods Batwing roadside mower for Public Works back in 2015, so that mower is 10 years old. It is in need of replacement. It's been scheduled for replacement for this year. When staff started looking into replacement costs, certainly with the tariffs and the steel prices and everything that's gone on, these costs can vary widely. We do very much like the Woods mower. It's been an excellent mower over the 10 years. Maintenance costs have been relatively low, and we haven't had a lot of trouble. We have local dealerships, so getting parts and service for that mower is never been an issue. So when we went looking, as you can see there, there's quite a spread. Ken Farm Supply, which is where we bought the mower in 2015, and they are a dealer of Woods. They have a used mower that's 5 years old that's been through their shop at $16,900. They have a new mower identical to the one that we have now at $34,000. And then we did reach out to other suppliers just to make sure, just to see the pricing. The more at 34,000 at Kent Farm Supply, that's because it's currently in stock. So it's a 2024 model, but it's brand new. You can see there with Delta Power, that's the same mower, but that's a 2025. So they would order that mower in, and that is that jump from 34 to 39 is essentially your tariff pricing built into the cost of that mower. So given the fact that, you know, stretching it out and good maintenance practices, we feel we can get 10 years out of that mower. You know, so if you're purchasing a mower that's already 5 years old, that you don't necessarily know how it's been treated for the first 5 years of its life, you know, best case scenario, we get another 5 years out of that. So we're into replacing that again in 2029 versus spending the 34,000, having a new mower with warranty that we can service, that we can maintain over its life, and getting 10 years out of that because you know, there's a very, very good chance that in 5 years that mower is going to be worth a lot more than 34 or even 39,000. So that's staff's recommendation is to go with that new mower that's in stock at Ken Farm Supply for the replacement.
Thank you. And there's no tariffs on that one?
Not that one. That's because it's already in stock. So anything that's ordered now is going to have that. It has that tariff charge built into it.
Okay. Questions from council? Deputy Mayor Teller, please.
Thank you. And through the chair, I just had a question about the new woods mower. It says here in your report, manufacturer's warranty 5 years, or what's the warranty for? Or how the dent length, I meant to say.
Typically, a manufacturer's a full warranty on that mower would be 2 years. I guess I'm saying that you know, in 5 years, if we were to purchase the 2020 model, we would be looking at replacement again in
Yeah.
5 years.
Okay, I understood that. I just wondered what the new one, the warranty was. And then the second question I had, thank you for that, is to offset the portion of the difference. So are we going to just sell it back to them, or are we just doing a sale within the municipality for our old mower that we're getting rid of?
Yeah, typically we've had good success, so that the current mower will be cleaned up and it will be listed on GovDeals. We've had good success, and now is actually probably a good time to be looking at listing that mower because obviously there's, you know, people that are looking for that type of equipment now in the spring. So we'll get that because the mower at Kent Farm Supply is in stock, and we can have that probably next week. We'll get that our current mower listed for sale. Through GovDeals.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Further questions? Seeing none, could I have the recommendation then, please?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Infrastructure and Development, and that West Elgin Council approves the purchase of one new Woods BW 10.61 batwing mower from Kent Farm Supplies in Blenheim, Ontario for the quoted price of $34,000 plus applicable taxes.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. 7.2, Community Services and Clerks. 7.2.1, Options to fill Ward 3 vacancy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair, this report is presented to council. Of course, we've seen this report before, so not too much has changed since the last time it was presented to council back in the fall. So just a few things to go over. The seat was declared at the last meeting on April 10th. So within 60 days of the declaration, council must make a decision whether to proceed with filling by appointing a person, which we have done in the past by accepting applications, receiving, we've had the candidates interview as part of that, receiving a kind of a biography of what they would like to accomplish with their term on council. Or the other option, of course, is to move forward with a by-election. So in my report, certainly there's some items for council to consider. Impact of time, progression and time remaining on council, which right now is approximately 18 months until the next election. Impact on financial staff resources, transparency, fairness, and public participation. Then also taking a look at our voter turnout from 2018 and 2022 that was on there. We had talked about this not too long ago about the voter turnout for one ward only being approximately 10% at the last election. the 2024 estimated cost was about 25 to 30,000. So that is roughly the same amount. In my previous report, it had indicated about 20,000. However, some last minute additions were added to that for IntelliVote and DataFix, which were noted in the minutes of that last meeting, bringing it up to approximately the 25,000 mark. So just a couple other things to go over as well for council. The timeline for call for application and appointment would be a little bit different than what is in the report because I was notified today that I cannot have a notification in for the May 1st. Our timelines for the Chronicle are getting a little bit more stringent, so I have to have notices in far sooner than what we did in the past. So if council chooses to go with this process, I can have a notice posted on the website and social media tomorrow. The next ad for the Chronicle would be May 8th. Application deadlines, certainly if council wanted a more extended timeline, I could do 2 weeks of Chronicle notifications or notices, May 8th and 15th, which we've done in the past. I could close it as early as May 16th or leave it open till May 23rd. And then it would be council's decision whether they would like to go forward with the same process as having a special meeting before, having it on a completely separate date, or we've also done that marathon meeting when we appointed for Ward 1 where we did the special meeting during the afternoon and then went into our regular meeting. And then we would have the person taking the seat by the June 12th meeting. On the other side of that, so going forward with a by-election, we would adopt the agenda. We would adopt the bylaw at the May 8th meeting. Nomination day, which needs to be between 30 and 60 days within the Municipal Election Act, would bring us to June 9th. Voting day would be 45 days after, so looking at about July 24th, and councillor taking the seat of Ward 3 in August at our August meeting. So keeping in mind that in July and August, we only have the one meeting per month. Financial implications, if we went with the option 1, the appointment option, really it is just the advertising costs for the ads to go into the Chronicle. And then the by-election option is outlined in the chart that I have given, again, approximately 25,000 estimated in there. So it's quite a bit of information there that's provided in this report. Did council have any questions, concerns, or open it to the floor to discuss which option they're thinking?
Any questions? Any ideas? We have to travel one way or the other, so. Brian? Councillor Statham? Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Terry, for that, and through you, through the chair. I think if I understand the dates correctly, Terry, by the time, if we were to proceed with the by-election, by the time we were to have a councillor appointed to the position, it would be August. So we'd be 12 months essentially until the election. Is that correct?
You are correct.
And my personal feeling on that is that $25,000, and this was the justification last time. And I understand, I saw the numbers. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. I apologize. I think that our voter turnout would be much better in this election. I think that there's a lot more community engagement that seems to be happening, and I think that that's valid. But I personally don't feel like spending $25,000 for 12 months is really justifiable. That's my opinion. So I wanted to put that out there. So I'll leave it to the rest of council.
Okay, thank you for that. Deputy Mayor Tellier, please.
Thank you, through the chair. Echoing that somewhat, I believe the cost to have an election, the short timeline, there will be lame duck next year. So it's not even that timeline really that someone would be maybe make huge decisions on council, and just the cost, the timeline, everything. I think we should go ahead with appointment again. That was our decisions in the past as well. That money could be used and, saved and used in other spots within our municipality. And I think it's justifiable.
Thank you. I personally agree exactly what's been said. I think it's just a waste of money. And like you said, in lame duck, can do no big business or anything because our monies are governed. So carry on.
Sorry, and then also just thinking, and then the low voter turnout when we only had one ward with voting back in 2022 with our regular election. And then other years, it's just, we don't have a huge voter turnout. Counselor Statham's correct. This might be more engaging and more for residents this time around with everything going on in the world, but is that worth the cost? I don't believe so.
Well, I think we've overwhelmed, I think it's quite obvious which way we're going to go. We've had three people talk on that way. So, Bill, do you want to speak any more on it? No. Okay, so you know which option we're going? Okay.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Terry Tosha, clerk, regarding options filling the vacancy of Ward 3 councillor, and that whereas council declared the seat of Ward 3 councillor vacant on April 10th, 2025, and whereas council is required to determine the method of filling a vacant seat pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 263, therefore council direct the clerk to proceed with option 1, being call of application and appointment to fill the vacancy of Councillor Ward 3 for the remainder of the 2022 to 2026 term of council.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried. 8, committee and board reports or updates. Oh, I'm very sorry. It's not that I'm going to get done quick, but the Chief Administration Officer, 7.3.1, Port Glasgow Trailer Park Financial Analysis Study Quote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, before you is a report, and this is a follow-up to your last meeting of which council made the motion to resolve the divestment, that the divestment of the Port Glasgow Trailer Park be deferred until a comprehensive cost recovery analysis is complete, outlining financial implications of continued municipal ownership and operation, inclusive of leasing options, and further report be delivered to council with full cost recovery options and divestment options. I have reached out to Watson and Associate Economics Limited to seek a quote in order to support us in order to put forward a very timely report. And so councillor can have considerations on how they would like to move forward, understanding that we do have agreements that are currently out for those who use the recreational services at Port Glasgow Trailer Park, and how we then proceed after this season. Not in this report, though, in my conversations with the associate with Watson's today, he noted that we could probably turn that report around in a 4 to 6 timeline. He said 4 weeks, so just with the timeline of council, it may be 6 weeks. And so we can certainly have that information before you within our June 1st, the first meeting within June. So the cost of this report is $11,500, and the recommendation is that the payment for that services be through the Port Glasgow Trailer Park Reserve.
Okay. Questions from council? That's going to give us all the options we need and the numbers we need.
Now, listed within the report, Mr. Mayor, is the analysis that has been discussed. So we will look at the current arrangement and we will assess the viability of the park and its current operating arrangement. Then we would look at an operating model of which the park to be revenue neutral. That's with the assumption that it isn't currently. If it is, then you have that option already. Then a model for which the park where revenues will create a revenue stream, and that revenue stream would be over and above paying for yearly operations, plus also putting savings into reserves in order to manage the assets within the park. Then looking at a model for leasing, that was the direction of council at our last conversation. And then, of course, what would be the option if the park were to sell? if council wants to add to that, then I'm happy to hear any more. I believe, Councillor Statham.
Councillor Statham?
Thank you very much through the chair. I just wondered, I had a couple points there, Robin. I just wondered, under the review of background information, I wondered if we could just address the ongoing sort of questions regarding the donation of the land. I know we sort of talked about this with legal, and I just wondered if that could be included in the background information. So it was one item. The other component that I wanted to mention was just access to the waterfront and what that would look like in terms of, I mean, if the park was turned over to a third party for a lease, or whether it was sold, if that could be included as well. Just a way for the municipality to maintain public access to the beach.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Statham, I can certainly add what Watson's will be doing is the financial analysis, but I certainly will be putting in on a separate report alternatives, so we can provide the financial analysis, but then items that could be considered under for council's awareness.
Thank you very much.
Okay, further questions? Seeing none?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Robin Greenall, CAO, regarding the Port Glasgow Trailer Park Financial Analysis Study, quote, and that council approves the recommendation to contract Watson and Associates Economics Limited to complete a financial analysis study and to fund the cost of the service through the municipality of West Elgin's Port Glasgow Trailer Park Reserve.
Move it, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Committee and board reports or updates. We've got the economical development. There's nothing. Does anybody want to speak on anything? Pardon? No? Okay. Recreation, 4 counties, Old Town Hall, Heritage Homes, Rodney Park, other committees. Okay. Okay, we go to 9, notion of motion. There was none received. Council inquiries and announcements. Right, we resume back after a power cut. I'm sorry for the delay, but we're off again. Okay, so we're going to council inquiries and announcements. And I see Councillor Denning has something to say.
Without further ado. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through the chair. I just wanted to share some well wishes. As many of you know, the owners of the West Lorne Foodland, Steve and Brenda Brown, who have been serving our community for many, many years. Their last shift is this Saturday. They have sold their store. We have a new family coming in to look after West Lorne's grocery store. Just want to say on behalf of council, a deep, heartfelt thank you to Steve and Brenda Brown for all of their years of serving our community, for participating in so many different community events, for letting service clubs sell 50-50 tickets in the store, letting community groups use their marquee for different advertising for events. They have been wonderful community citizens, and thank you so much. And to the new folks, look forward to meeting you and sharing the good news that we have a new family in town. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Bill. Yes, I agree with you 100%. They've been an asset to West Elgin. Okay, so correspondence. Any?
There was 4 items of correspondence under section 11. Did any members of council wish to pull any of those items and add them to items requiring council consideration?
Yeah. Councillor Denny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Certainly would love for council to consider putting a name forward for the 2025 Ontario Senior of the Year.
Absolutely. I was going to suggest that. Anything for you, Ryan, on there?
Nope. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. So just the one
Yep,
that we'd like to
yep, so we'll pull that.
pursue,
Yep. Thank
please?
you. So the rest of the three items are the County of Elgin Notice of No Appeals, County of Elgin from the council chambers, and Longwoods to Lakeshore Project Update Spring 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receive and file all correspondence not otherwise dealt with.
Okay, you want to move it on that one?
Yes, please.
Move it, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconder. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. Okay, the request for here I go.
Proclamation.
Yeah, proclamation. I always get stuck on that one. For the 7th of June, 2025, as Lemonade Day.
Yep, this request was received last week, as indicated, and the letter is attached. Did any members of council have any questions regarding the proclamation? Okay. The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receive the request dated April 4th, 2025 from the Family and Children's Services St. Thomas and Elgin, and that council hereby approve the request to proclaim Saturday, June 7th, 2025 as Lemonade Day, a countywide initiative led by a partnership between Doug Terry Homes and the Elgin Children's Foundation for the purpose of raising funds to send deserving children connected with Family and Children's Services of St. Thomas and Elgin to camp.
Okay, anything from council? Okay, a mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. And with that, we're going to move into,
We've got to discuss the item that we pulled from for the
Okay, the one
Senior
you-
of the Year.
okay,
Yep. So I'll just bring that up here. Apologies, and everything shut down when the power went out. So the Ontario Senior of the Year, so this is a program that's facilitated by the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility. And councils have the opportunity, or municipalities have the opportunity to nominate a senior from their community. Deadline to nominate is April 30th. And it's done through a portal through the municipality. So certainly I'll open the floor up to council if they have a specific senior in mind that they would like to nominate. And there's got to be a little bit of information given when we submit through the portal as well. So certainly I'll open the floor.
okay. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Denny.
Well, if the gentleman I have in mind was successful in winning this, he'd be working his way towards EGOT, getting multiple awards for being an incredible human being. He received one of our awards last year at the mayor's banquet as one of our distinguished guests and seniors. This gentleman's name that I have in mind is Mr. Bill Graham. Mr. Bill Graham is a retired high school teacher here in West Elgin. He has been a member of the West Lorne Kiwanis Club for nearly half of his life. And on top of all of that, this man has spent countless hours providing music and entertainment to seniors at Legions, at community halls, at nursing homes. Whenever somebody needs a visit, Bill Graham is the man who looks after that. And on top of that, he's been the secretary of the Masonic Lodge here in West Elgin for probably about 30 years. And he's just an all-around good man, humble person, kind person, and I can't think of a more deserving recipient of Ontario 2025 Seniors Award than our Mr. Bill Graham.
I would absolutely agree with every word that you said there. Anyone else like to bring anyone else forward? Then, excellent choice. Yeah, I was at his wife's funeral just not too long ago. You know, because I respect the guy so much.
Do I have a recommendation to make?
Yes, please.
That West Elgin Council hereby nominate Bill Graham as the 2025 Ontario Senior of the Year through the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility, and that council direct the clerk to submit the nomination prior to April 30th, 2025.
Okay, a mover, please. Councillor Denning, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Now we're going to move into a closed session.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby proceed into closed session at 4:46 PM pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 239(2)B, being personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees, for staffing updates.
Thank you. A mover, please. Councillor, Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we're reporting from close.
Reporting from closed at 4:59 PM. Council received two items pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 239(2)B, for the purpose of staffing updates as information only.
And we go to 15. Confirming bylaw.
That bylaw 2025-21 being a bylaw to confirm the proceeding of the regular meeting of council held on April 24th, 2025, be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Denning, all in favour? That's carried. And 16, which is adjournment.
That the council of the municipality of West Elgin hereby adjourn at 5:00 PM to meet again at 4:00 PM on Thursday, May 8th, 2025, or at the call of the chair.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you very much. See you, Ryan.
Thanks, everybody.